I don't know how it happened. Going from thinking I'm never going to run to 7 months later breaking the world record in the 400, it's surreal. I was a rebellious child, rebellious teenager. Never listened to anything anybody had to say. I did things on my own terms. Was heavily involved in drugs. I smoked weed every once in a while. I drank every once in a while. Somebody had some pills, I took them. Somebody had some acid, I took it. If anybody had any rolls, I took it. You know, it was just kind of whatever was there. I was like, yeah, man, cool. Never had a motorcycle a day in my life, really kind of a spontaneous buy. I was coming home from work one evening and chose not to go on the highway because I knew I would want to go fast, and I chose to take a two-lane road. Ended up starting to race this guy. He was in a Honda Civic. I was in a crotch rocket that could go 0 to 60 in probably 2 seconds. I was out in front pretty much the whole time until I hit the curb going around a sharp right-hand turn, flipped and slid across the road, hit a guardrail, and pretty much broke my foot off. The leg was pretty much amputated on site. It was pretty much straight to the hospital, try to stop the bleeding. I lost a whole lot of blood. I remember my brother-in-law, seeing him and one of my buddies there, and I didn't realize my grandparents and my mom and dad were in the room, but I saw them and asked them, you know, hey, where's the weed at? The severity of the accident hit me probably about 2.5 weeks after realizing that I was in the hospital. I was about to be released, and you know, the nurses were telling me I needed to get in the wheelchair or use the crutches, and I was quite defiant. We finally got the prosthetic leg and, you know, got back to living normal life, I guess you could call it. Came a point in time in my life where I realized I needed to do something different. I'd been kicked out of my house, my mother's house, several times because of drug use, because of the people I was hanging out with, getting in fights and so on and so forth. I had been arrested several times. I actually spent some time in jail and still didn't really get it through my head that I needed to do something different. The evening before, my mother was going to have the sheriff come and kick me out, and as I'm thinking about suicide and I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with the rest of my life, and you know, look what I've done to myself. I've done this to myself. Nobody else is to blame. It was my choices, my decisions that got me sitting on that porch with a garbage bag full of clothes, all of my belongings sitting in front of me, and potentially no home to live in. On that porch that night, I asked God to help me. You know, I broke down and said, you know, Lord, I can't do this on my own. I can't keep on doing these things. I have to do something better if I'm going to have a future. I never knew I had talent. Honestly, I don't consider myself to have any talent. I have a strong work ethic. I don't like to lose, and I enjoy working hard. I enjoy hurting. I enjoy burning. I enjoy every aspect of working out and having my heart rate hit, you know, 225, 230. I enjoy that feeling. It's exuberating. It you know, that replaced drugs, that replaced alcohol, and you know, that addictive lifestyle changed from one of a negative impact to a positive impact. The gym became my addiction. The pool became my addiction. The track, the bike became my addiction. I did triathlons for about 3.5, 4 years before switching to track and field. Never thought I was any good at track and field until I started doing well, broke a couple of Pan American records, and then broke myself pretty severely. I went out to eat with my wife and son, and then we went to this little trampoline warehouse place and jumped around on trampolines, and about 45 minutes into it, I decide I'm gonna do cartwheels and flips into this little foam pad, and man, I take my first jump and I didn't go high enough, and I did a cartwheel and landed on my side and just ripped my knee to shreds. Tore my ACL completely, PCL partially, some hamstring, broke a bone with my LCL still attached to it. And literally as soon as I hit the ground, I was freaking out because I'm about to have to get ready to go to London, and here I am doing this, and I knew I shouldn't have been doing it, but I thought, no, I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm going to be careful. You know, I'll be careful. I won't hurt myself, and then I go and hurt myself, and I'm just, I guess, you know, I'm a stubborn individual, damaging my knee. Almost beyond repair. Was told I'd never be able to run competitively again, and somehow 7 months later was able to go to the 2012 Paralympic Games and win a bronze medal and break the unilateral world record by more than 0.3 of a second. When the gun went off and I got out of the blocks, I was all the way out in lane 9. I couldn't see anybody. I couldn't hear anybody because it was deafening. Came around the last bend and just saw a couple of people on my inside and told myself to relax and just run easy, just focus on my form. I crossed the finish line and I was thinking, man, did I just come in third? I don't know, I was out of breath, and my teammate came up to me and said, you came in third, and I thought, no way. He said, I think you broke the world record. And as I looked up and saw my name pop up onto the screen, 50.61, WR next to it, I was in shock. I mean, I still am in shock, because I honestly, I don't know how it happened. Going from thinking I'm never going to run to 7 months later breaking the world record in the 400. Yeah, I worked hard. Yeah, I was disciplined. Yeah, I did as much as I possibly could do to be prepared for that race. But did I ever think that I would be able to get on that medal stand, break a world record, and do what I did? No. You know, it's still unbelievable. Life is a journey that we're all on. Life is complicated and yet simple. We're all faced with decisions and choices, and some of us make good choices, some of us don't. But it's how we use those bad choices to make ourselves better.